Have been Port Adelaide's worst this year. Only won 2.
Sure, a question for you. Do you free up someone like a Travis Boak, stick him on a hill, who's being tagged by Kane Corns, and say to Travis, who's being tagged himself at the present time, we're kicking with a win. We need a big quarter.
Yep, you do. They need someone to accumulate the ball.
That's not the start they want. Mundy got it to Lower, who's been very good in the opening quarter. 8 possessions in the opening term, plus a behind. He's got the protection of the higher grandstand to his left-hand side.
Come back around, please.
Stuart Wynn not falling for it.
Let go, guys. Let go. Watch the push.
Hit the post in the first quarter. So he's having shots at goal, which I'm sure his coach will be pretty pleased with.
20 games in 4 years for Port Adelaide. He's played 8 for Fremantle this year. And it's a high ball deep. And Brogan.
Yep. Dean Brogan just getting it over the line. Now they've got to clear the press. There'll be a lot of energy put into keeping the ball in there for Fremantle. Kills time. Just 2 players outside of what's a 16-man press, and that's a horrible kill.
It's a careless effort from Carlisle to bring it back in. They may, for the moment, get out of the dangerous zone, but momentarily, because the mark is taken by Duffield. Overcast conditions, about 26 degrees top temperature predicted. And they're expecting some heavy rain later on this afternoon. Lower with the fly.
Well, let's have a look at this kick it again. Jared, I've never seen someone get spoiled. Now, I know he's only 5 metres, but the umpires say play on. But I've never seen anybody get smothered from a kick out of the screen without playing on.
Sandilands and Brogan. Crowley, the swift handball to Kepler. Bradley continues to find the goals.
Horrible start by Port Adelaide. Again, just getting slaughtered. You see Kepler Bradley on his own there. No one paying any attention to him. 2 blokes going up trying to worry the big bloke, Aaron Sandlands, who creates the goal just by his physical presence. Somebody had to push up onto Kepler Bradley.
Well, Alapati Carlisle, again, Jared, he was outside the corridor. How can you allow Bradley to go that way? And then we also, just not good enough defensive work, have to stop the corridor.
Prior to this year, his best return, Kepler Bradley, 14-8 from 12 games last year. So far this year, he's kicked 18 goals, 6 in 7.5 games.
Oh, he's been a star, there's no doubt about that. Pavlich, he's allowed Pavlich to go into the middle because he's got the job done up forward.
You need that man going into the middle reasonably consistently. That's Travis Boak. Westhoff, hard work, couldn't get a possession but kept it alive. Ibbotson through traffic. Now in complete control of the Dockers. Hasn't been the happiest of hunting grounds for Fremantle in recent years. 7-3 at Amy Stadium against them. Ballantyne darting, going one way. Great desperation by Pittard. Wonderful play. And Boak again, another possession. Centering ball to Corns on the stretch. Watch out. Sandlands was closing. Did well. Hill, they all just peeled off. You don't do that to Stephen Hill. Surely not. Got it to Fife, and there's another one.
And another kick at goal.
Push and all clear at goal. The ball hadn't crossed the line when the push came.
Well, it was a horrible skill error in the middle of the ground. One, the kick wasn't great, and this one just needed to be better from Kane Corns. And that was the problem, the handball. When he butted up, it didn't go anywhere, and then all of a sudden everybody had pushed forward, going to run through, and they were exposed.
Gee, lucky not to give away another free kick there too, Jared. Normally if you do that, the ball hadn't crossed the line. That's what the umpire said. If it had, that would have been brought back for another goal. 2 goals in the same stanza of play nearly.
Well, they've worked the ball into their forward 50, or almost into their forward 50 for the first time in this quarter. It just came out too easily, Shuri. The spirit and the desperation for Port Adelaide is at probably
it's
a history low in the AFL. I know there's a lot of kids out there, but there's also others there that you just think are playing within themselves.
Boys, Clancy Pearce has come off and getting his ankle restrapped, so I'm not sure if they, both him and Matthew Pavlich, have worked out the ground's a bit soft underfoot out there and didn't strap him before the game, but seems a little bit happening down here.
Thanks, Jacko. 44-point lead with the Dockers. They've kicked the last 7 goals of the game.
Hayden Ballantyne came off too, Jacko. Just watch him. Looks like he's getting some work on his lower back.
Yeah, lower back, Shorey. The physio is just talking to him now.
Phillips.
Geez, I like the way he's moving.
Oh,
Sure.
he's the one bright spark in his team at the moment.
O'Shea tried to spot up Thomas, has got his hands full with Pavlich. Thomas will get there, but not before a hand from Grover. Beautiful handball through traffic from Mundy. Hill didn't have time to gather it cleanly. Motlop keeps it alive, doesn't try to pick it up, socketed it off the ground. O'Shea, Pavlich got it forward by hand. Beautiful work by the Dockers again, and eventually Johnson, and they're out to lower. Forward of the ball is Crichton.
Got to see some Port Adelaide players charging into defence now. They all ran far going forward. Got to get in behind the football now.
We commonly call downhill skiers, Jared. When you're in control, run forward hard and do half the speed going backwards.
Sharing the ball around, Fremantle.
Looking for the pommer.
Fife. Super player already. It's only into his second year.
Rain appears to be skirting around Football Park. I think we just saw a little couple of flashes of lightning, Shorey.
Yeah, I think they've got to get Justin Westhoff onto the ball now. Get him up on the ground, let him run around, get some freedom, because he's a very talented player. Just see here, Motlop just kicking the ball off, was going to try and get past the next line, and he had his number of players. It was good thinking, just didn't work.
Bradley. Hartlett had to do the rucking. Sharked by Fife. No mark will be paid. Lower continues to find his own ball. Centering ball. Main will attack it. He's got support from Hill. Hill will give a Shepherd. Did well. Good protection. Got it by hand back to Pavlich. Thomas, a lazy attempt at Pavlich. On the way, but it's wide.
It's too easy, isn't it? They're getting belted around the contest at the moment. They were pretty even at quarter time. Matter of fact, I think Port were a couple ahead in contested ball, but just their forward structure breaking down at centre half forward. Oh, look at this.
And Trengove's in all sort of trouble. And possibly Hayden Ballantyne might still be in trouble as well. Fife to capitalise on another Port Adelaide error. Fife banana, but it's to the near side. I'll just check in with Jacko once again. Is he convincing with regards to getting back on, Jacko?
He's in the on the interchange gate, looking like he's going to go back out in the field, but he's talking to one of the physios constantly about it. So there is a limp in the lower back area. He keeps just rubbing to his right side of his lower back.
Jacobs just overcooked the kick. Gray to mop up. Need to show something, Port Adelaide, and Jacobs shows the older players how to do it. A slicing run, puts it inside 50. McFarlane with courage.
But they continue to kick the ball back to the opposition, Port Adelaide. It shows up on the numbers. Kicking efficiency is B grade at best, 50-odd%.
Bradley enjoying his best year of AFL football.
Hayden Ballantyne back on, boys.
It's Jacko.
Daniel Pearce has had 3 possessions to this stage.
Thomas has to go with courage. Good contest by Duffield. Sunderland's overran it. Boak went to ground, protected the ball. A bit too much on the handball, and that's a dangerous tackle. I've seen a lot of that over the course of the last couple of weeks off the back of Trengo's 3-week suspension. Phillips went without it. Pavlich just simply took it upon himself to find it. Good tackle by Phillips. Crowd wants ball. It's a small crowd this afternoon. We'll have it bounce down.
Well, it's hard because that ball was there. It stayed there and it came out right at the point of contact with the ground.
Look, I think it's hard for the players, Shorey, because
they
it's
don't know.
instinctive.
Yeah,
but
no doubt.
you run the risk of a hefty suspension if a player
right.
gets injured. What can Port Adelaide muster? Looking for their third goal. Can Motlop provide it? No. He's just pushed off the ball relatively easy by McFarlane. Pearce has got time to have a look around and casually just stroll after the ball. Broughton, centering ball to Ibbotson, can open up the corridor. Grover's on his bike on the near side. Continues to push forward. And McFarlane will have a bounce and put it into the path of Grover, and he did it well. Chipping ball over the top to Lower, who finds another bit of space in possession, heads down the line, and he finds Mundy. It's a training drill.
Well, this is insipid at the moment. Port Adelaide supporters wouldn't want to hear it, but it is. No pressure out of their forward half, which is where you should start your pressure in the modern game. I tell you, there would be questions asked about the effort and physical effort of players in this game. There's no doubt at the moment.
He's only had it the 6 times, David Mundy, only up for his first shot at goal. But they are comfortably in control, the Dockers. Tight angle. He's all class. And that is almost a classy finish. He's played 137 of a possible 139 games, David Mundy. Reigning best and fairest winner. Debuted in round 6, 2005.
And they're running at 2 possessions to every 3 for the opposition at the moment, Port Adelaide.
Lower decides to get in on the action and brought it back nicely. Port Adelaide are running away with it.
Yes, it's a one-sided affair at this stage. You're spot on, Swatter. Let's just have a look at this. Just again, a nice long kick. No genuine contest.
Look at the pressure here, Joe. Where's the pressure?
Well, everyone's run too far, too close to the stoppage. The ball is punched back in by Pavlich. Pretty smart play. Everyone's 10 metres off the pack. Bounces over the heads of the inexperienced Port Adelaide players. Easy shot at goal. Wasn't easy. Good shot at goal.
Was simply trying to suggest what I'd like to see happen. That's Port Adelaide run away with something at the moment, Shorey.
Oh, look. Something red.
Yeah, it isn't good enough, is it? You know, and you look at the players who really get the ball from Daniel Pearce with 3 possessions, Matty Thomas with 3. He's doing a defensive job. Their tall players, Schultz and Pettigrew, haven't touched it, 1 each for the game.
And they go forward again, Fremantle. They can sense a big kill this afternoon.
De Boer doing a pretty good job on one of their chief playmakers in Travis Boak.
Westhoff, 1 possession, Jared.
Stick him in the ruck, Shuri.
Oh, that's what I said.
Yep.
You've got to get him up there to get him in the game, and I reckon he's a really talented player around the ground anyway.
Came into this game, Fremantle, off the back of consecutive losses, West Coast and Richmond. They win this afternoon and Hawthorn and Sydney lose. They can go to 6th position.
Well, the issue is they've got no real rebound out of defence there. They've got kids in defence and they're just not good enough in defence. They've locked down through the middle of the ground and doing quite well with those lockdown jobs. But, geez, around the packs and off the back half when they get it in there, they are just getting pulverised.
You'd like to see a little bit of spirit, Shorey.
Oh, well,
Something.
I think some selfless, before the game, was what I talked about. A key to this game was them being selfless. No one shepherds for each other. You know, you don't find space because you're under pressure all the time. Here's Westhoff got on the ruck now, outmarked this time. They might have made a move here.
It was always going to be tough because you got the big Sanderlands beside him. Get it again, Aaron. He'll drill it deep. That's a very good mark. Terrific mark by Ben Jacobs.
Well done.
Second game of AFL football. Debuted against the Swans. And they keep it alive inside their attacking 50, Fremantle.
Well, Benny Jacobs, Andy, the switch was probably on, but he looked down the ground. There's not one forward, Jared, who's coming up to the play, knowing they're kicking with a breeze, but at least give something for a player down the ground to kick to.
Brogan continues to do a lot of the hard work. And they don't have too many players to come back in, Shuri. Dom Cassisi, the captain. David Roden, who is a spark for this side. Salter and Paul Stewart.
It's a big rebuilding program. There's obviously a lot of microscope work to be done by the coach and coaching panel. But it's got to all start with hard work, Shuri, and that's the issue. You just don't get the feeling that the energy is being produced there.
Now, here's another undisciplined free kick off the ball. And 50 metres for arguing. Now, this, I tell you what, Jared, I think the coach, that's Daniel Pearce is involved there. I'm trying to think, I think it's Robbie Gray. One of them has bounced off to the umpire. I think it's time to just make some statements here as a coach. He made a couple by selection with the Corn brothers. Might be a few others have to be made to make sure that they get a lesson here today. And it's old-style coaching. You don't want to go down that track. It's ridiculous in the modern game.
14 possessions coming up for Ryan Crowley to get in on the action. And Fremantle record another goal. Dark days for Port Adelaide.
Yes, an embarrassing day right now because I think everyone came to this game, Shuri, expecting Fremantle, who'd lost their last couple, to produce a pretty solid effort, but just with a little suspicion that Port Adelaide were going to be competitive.
Well, that's just Daniel Pearce lost the plot with the tag. Ryan Crowley wasn't a lot in that, and he just shoved him in the back and got a free kick, and someone mouthed off, and there's the resultant goal.
But sure, to add to that, Ryan Crowley's been doing that for the entire game, and Daniel Pearce has got to block that out of his mind. He's only had the 3 possessions. He's got to get his work rate and go get the footy.
Jacko, he's been doing it all his career, Crowley, but that's what you expect from him. So you know it's coming. You've got to go get the ball.
Good players need to handle that, Shuri.
No doubt.
And Jacobs, that was great stuff by the young man. Got it to Logan. He's got a bit of fight about him. Thomas is normally good in that area. He'll thump it long. Motlop will hunt the ball. Tries to tap it to Westhoff. Got a fingernail on it, but they've got a chance again. Hartlett, normally a good finisher. Left foot kick wasn't good. Westhoff will put it in the direction of Motlop. Left it for Hartlett, and that's a brilliant goal.
Yeah, finally they broke their duck, kicking with the wind. A couple of individual efforts. And a nice little bit of check side work from Hamish Hartlett. That wasn't a great kick. Got away with it, though, because it was a smart handball by Westhoff. And a good finish. First goal, kicking with a 6-goal breeze, as described by former Collingwood captain Tony Shaw before the match. 5 to go, Shaw. It's going to be a flurry.
In 10 minutes.
First goal for Hamish Hartlett this afternoon. 3rd for Fremantle, Port Adelaide. And they need plenty more of that. Brogan. Mundy intelligently to Sandilands. Tried to funnel the handball back to Pavlich. The big names for Fremantle getting involved, and now some of the younger ones. De Boer, Palmer, and Lower.
It's a free kick. He hit his hands. Can't selectively play it.
Oh, well, you're right, Jared. And then you go get the ball.
Double whammy, sure.
There was no way known he was going to get rid of that ball then. No way he could have got rid of the ball.
Horns measures the ball. Good kick to Schultz, who found a rare bit of space from McFarlane. Quickly onto the boot. Chaplin pushes forward, worked underneath the ball. And just a little bit of momentum for Port Adelaide. This is a massive kick.
Good to see Chaplin up in the forward line.
Yeah.
I know he looks to be running with Matthew Pavlich, which is something a little bit different, something a bit more creative from the coach.
He's on tough pocket. Don't see too many goals kicked from here, but
Left footer, though.
he's on the right side for a left footer, Shuri,
Yeah.
and the wind is blowing to the right-hand side. It is on its way, and it works the opposite way.
Ball clear.
That was the outswinger when he needed the inswinger.
Boys, what was the difference in the one in the first quarter with Matthew Pavlich? I thought that was just good play there.
Good call, Jacko.
That's from the umpire appreciation this week, is it? It was last week.
Last week. It's over. We're celebrating some wonderful contributions from the Indigenous players over many years.
Oh,
Sandilands, risky handball, but Crowley was good. Pavlich, and away they go. Hill. Great tackle. Schultz said no, and shutting that down.
Now that's... Well, they don't want to settle down. They want to get some spirit into the side. That's what they need. Great tackle. Maybe a little bit of shove while he's getting up, but get on with it.
Westhoff needs to make it. He's almost did.
Well done.
Probably their best couple of minutes right now, Jared.
No, probably. It's been a spirited couple of minutes, sure.
Oh,
Hasn't been too much science about it. It's been getting it into dangerous forwards.
well, I tell you what I'd be saying, that is a main. Jay Schultz, I wouldn't even listen to the umpire on that occasion.
It's in the book. Somehow, back-to-back goals for Port Adelaide.
Sorry, send the runner out to Jay. We want more of that.
Oh, no doubt. I would be saying, OK, look, this was the tackle because they were out and gone. Stephen Hill made a mistake trying to come back in the corridor. And I think he just probably used his body to get up off him. Boak then just kicks the ball to the top. Westhoff, he knows a dangerous player. And that's what he can do. And I think it was more for the infringement more than the mark. You can see just holding there against Anthony Grover. But I'd be saying, Jay Schultz, we want more of that. Our forward pressure's been shocking. That's the first time when we get a goal.
goalless against Sydney last week, 21 disposals. Kicked 11 goals for the year, including his first this afternoon. Jacko, Dean Brogan okay, boundary side?
Yeah, he's just down there in the hands of the trainer. I'll just come back to you with that.
Now Trengove gets a chance against Bradley. Hard off the line was Broadbent.
They've got a sniff here.
Yeah, Hartlett kicked a great goal, got an unkind bounce. Ibbotson met heavily by Thomas. That was poor.
That's undisciplined.
Just started to get a bit of the run of the ball, and Thomas delivers that silly free kick, and Robertson has possession. This would hurt with the quick reply. How that happens, Lower is everywhere at the moment, and he has no man.
Well, the free kick, you just take the pressure off. Here we go, plays on.
That's it there. That's it. Stay with me.
14 possessions for Nick Lower this afternoon. Crowley with the most, 15, and Lower opens up the angle. Kick is on its way. It's across the face of goal and misses the lock.
There's a free kick. Maybe if he was a fraction late. Just don't need that sort of thing when you're just building a comeback, a couple of goals, the momentum's building, takes the pressure off.
And rather than going the heroic bump, which was never going to hurt anybody, had to smother the ball.
Phillips had it, and he was away and then lost it. Open the door for Mundy. Good work by Trengove. They force it back.
Definitely lifted, though, in the negative aspects of the game. They're starting to win some of these loose balls.
Westhoff needed to go, put his head down, no free kick. This is better from Port Adelaide, much better. Prize free by Pearce. Got it to Hartlett, who's been busy. Goes to Gray, couldn't take it. Centering ball, feeds it over to Schultz, needs to cap it off. Back to Gray, can go to Motlop, takes it upon himself, gives it back to Schultz. Hard work, but they got there. Thank you.
Hard work with the two words, both four-letter words, Shorey, and both very important in football.
Well, they were. They just got some clearances, didn't they? Logan out to Pearce, who's now just lifted a little bit, had a couple. Hamish Hartley, he finds space. He'd find space in the telephone box, Jared. There's no doubt about that. I thought they messed it up here. I thought just over the top here, Robbie Gray should have handballed. Didn't have a left side handball, I don't think. Gets it back to Schultz. Finish off. Well, that's what happens when you tackle hard and create a goal the other time. You get your rewards, and here it is.
And Trotter, Dean Brogan back on.
Thanks, Jacko.
Well, this is a run-on. This is they've kicked the last three. Swatter, they get another couple. Sure, they go in at half-time with a little bit of belief and a bit of optimism.
Just over 7 minutes to play this second quarter. Got out to a 59-point lead, but we're back to a 40-point margin. As Jared said, another couple would make it interesting going into the half-time break.
It's a good punch from the big fella. Gets it out of the congestion.
Phillips.
Just a couple of fumbles.
And so did Corns, and eventually it was Hill who got it back to Robertson. And Mundy can think about his options, and eventually Ibbotson.
Just Simon Phillips, he's a youngster and he's just fumbled the last couple of times. Maybe being too quick at the contest. He's getting a bit excited when the ball comes in his area.
Like a bit of excitement, though, out of the Port Adelaide.
Look, he's been the spark. I've got no doubt about it, but he'll learn from that.
Yep, he's showing a lot of promise.
And so is Cameron O'Shea, who was a late replacement for Brad Ebert. Along with Jasper Pittard, Ben Jacobs and Jared Irons, the four debutants for Port Adelaide in 2011.
Good hands from Broadbent there, controlled it. That ball was moving rapidly.
And he will work it down the line. McFarlane.
This is where the transition, this is what's been catching Port Adelaide out. Players not working hard enough to get into the defensive mode. Now they're starting to get their act together.
Desperate tackle from Brogan. Look at the numbers now, and the teal jumpers sensing something. It was Gray to Chaplin, needs to get rid of it, managed to do that. Palmer put his head down, came away with it. It's a lot harder for Fremantle now. And Mundy, got the edge of the square is De Boer. He doesn't have a lot on, so he's forced to have a bounce, and now he'll go wide. Terrific kick to Ballantyne. He'll dart off the line and makes Bradley work hard. Diving attempt, couldn't take possession cleanly. Pittard did well, kept it moving forward. Pettigrew needs to be clean and goes to ground, but somehow that was outstanding. Got it to Carlisle. Port Adelaide supporters, small in number, finding their voice.
Just work rate. It's lifted, hasn't it? The work rate. Kepler Bradley had a fair bit of it. When he hit the ground, it bounced out. Well, well done to Pettigrew then.
Excellent.
Touch under 5.5 to play. They'd love another couple of goals, Port Adelaide. Brogan and Sandilands. Broadbent is finding a bit of it now. Hurriedly onto the boot towards Trengove. Managed to keep it in. No, he can't.
I'm not sure it's coming through the airwaves, but there's a fair bit of thunder and lightning going around the place
Up
at this
in the
stage.
hills.
Westhoff did well, just protected Brogan. Thomas. Sharking it was McFarlane onto the boot, just inside the boundary line.
Just think now Westhoff's pushed up to the ball and Trengove's gone forward. I like that change. Keep rotating those youngsters on the ball. Really play them as ruck rovers. I think it might give them something as a kick from out of defence a lot. Here he's here.
On cue, Westhoff comes away with it. It's a touch ball. Pavlich.
Good hands from Broughton there.
Steady influence to Fife. Crowley.
And they're the sort of kicks that Port Adelaide have got to get better at. They've got to get up quicker on their man so they don't get that little 25-metre pressure reliever.
Strong mark from Main. Gives a handball off to Crichton and he can run. One bounce. He'll dart a left foot ball towards Bradley and Carlisle was in front. His jumper was clearly pulled and Jacobs gives the free kick away.
Well, Carlisle and 50 because they kicked the ball away, but Alapati, Carlisle have to mark that. Have confidence in your own ability.
Yeah, I think you're right, sir. He needed the confidence. I think he was trying to play team footy, though. He tried to drop it down to the bloke at his feet. Have a look at him. There he is.
Jared, every time the ball's in the air, you're told, don't you, just go for the mark, and because you just keep it alive in a dangerous area and pretty ordinary tackle in the end, young Jacobs.
Now flip the roles there. If Carlisle has the jumper of Kepler Bradley, that's a free kick every day of the week. And a steadying goal for Fremantle off the boot of Ibbotson.
Well, they've travelled a long way, the Docker fans, and they'd be pretty happy with what they're seeing. But there, it's just a confidence thing, as you said, Shuri. Takes the mark. Bit of a duckage there as well, but umpire paid the free kick. It's the 50-metre that is the issue.
I reckon you've got to mark that. I know he had his jumper held after it, but the umpire just watches the ball there. Take that mark, show the group that you're in front, you know, and you let it, and he just said, I've ever held behind. Should have marked it in the first place.
Broughton with his first goal for the afternoon, 12 for Fremantle. And he has a spell and a little bit of work on the boundary line, Jacko.
Yeah, a lot of the players are just coming through and getting attention to, but nothing real serious at this stage.
And how will Port Adelaide respond now? Enjoyed their best few minutes in this game until that Broughton goal. Three goals to 5. Fremantle's way in this second quarter.
Just looking behind play, Fremantle's got a loose man in defence. I don't think that Port Adelaide can allow that. You've got to have a player who marks the ball. You're kicking with the wind, not against the breeze. If I get this back and I look up, it's going to be Grover or McFarlane as a loose man. They'll have to work and be patient here and just short passing it. This is why it happens.
Moore, Andrew, the younger brother of Richmond's Kelvin, to Carlisle. Three and three-quarter minutes to play this second quarter. Jacobs. Diving smother attempt from Ballantyne. Sandilands, good chase and tackle from Thomas, but in the back.
Good decision then by Steve McBurney. Everybody stopped, so the advantage goes out the window.
And Ibbotson can go deep to Johnson. You've seen his game, Jerry?
Ibbotson?
Johnson's.
Oh, well, he was good early, but struggled a little bit for this quarter. I was more interested in the definition there by Steve McBurney. They'd stopped, so the advantage was gone. Well, they stopped last week against Collingwood.
Well, they know they made a mistake there.
Well, if that was a mistake, how come it was a mistake there?
I think I know what he was trying to say. It's an amazing rule, isn't it? 50 again.
Red hot today is Steve McBurney.
This one, boys, we see the replay here. Daniel Pearce has just let his side down badly here.
Just see Dean Brogan, that's great leadership there. Just making sure that Daniel Pearce stays focused. Clancy Pearce, another easy goal for Fremantle. We're back out to a 50-point, 52-point margin.
Well, they would have had 3 free kicks now, or 3 50-metre penalties resulting in goals, I think it is. There's the original tackle, didn't have the ball, and that is just rubbish. Unless it just slipped out of his hands, we'll give him the benefit of the doubt until the replay cooks him.
Sort of, yeah, but you still got to give it back, Jared. The frustration just building.
Not a lot that man there with his arms crossed can do, the captain of Port Adelaide. I'm sure he'd love to be out there to support his teammates. Dockers by 52. The last 2 goals of the game. They've been easy goals as a result of 50-metre penalties. Trengove was very good to Brogan, continues to work forward. Schultz has got a couple to beat. He falls out the back of the pack and somehow he got possession. Swooping by was Thomas. But then swooping on it was McFarlane. Handball to Hill.
Now there's that loose man back there, Swatter. They cannot score. You've got to have a player when you kick with the breeze. Make it a one-on-one contest every time in there and you will create goals. That was so easy to... They ran off the half-forward line, Fremantle, even though they fumbled in the initial play.
And they've got this set up beautifully.
Beautifully.
It should end up in the other end, in the Dockers forward line.
Can't believe the setup in Port Adelaide at the moment.
Grover to Fife, who's got some time. Johnson will work forward. Chipping ball, but well read by Hartlett. It's got to take in the mark, but wants it out of bounds.
Deliberate.
Oh, it's gone from bad to worse.
Well, the umpire must have thought that... I thought he did. He maybe thought there was a bit more contact coming and didn't know it wasn't there.
Correct call?
I think it was.
Fife.
I mean, he was essentially trying to spoil it, but I think he was pretty keen to get it across the line.
Just shows how mentally fragile they are. Another one he should have marked in the air.
Fife will pump it long up towards Main. Pittard had a piece of it. Had time to regather it. Deliver it nicely to Westhoff.
And a good kick, that one.
Good kid, Pittard. He's been given some big jobs early in his career.
Pick number 16 in the 2009 draft.
Well, they look up now, Port Adelaide, kicking with a breeze, and there is 3 Fremantle players about 60 metres down the ground. This ball's going to go close to all of them.
So Trengove's got a number to beat.
And they still fumble.
It's the ground. Thomas did well.
Look at the numbers there. Look at Fremantle numbers.
Terrific numbers.
Well done to Thomas to get that free kick, but gee, it's hard to work through those numbers.
3 goals against the Pies in their round 1 loss. Darting ball, Schultz, good spoil. Well done by Lower. It bobbles around. De Boer. Numbers with Fremantle again. Broughton, Palmer. Slick handball, but too much on it. Broadbent, what can he do? Dying stages, second quarter. Hill's all there on his own once again, Shrewy, and you've made a number of comments about that.
Well, here's another uncontested mark from that setup.
And Fife can do it again on the outer wing. He's got Thomas in pursuit, but Fife has got the gas, and he has 3. It's got plenty of space to get 4. Can close to 50 with 5. Can get to 45. Would be a great goal. Won't get there.
Well, it's just a bit like Black Caviar, knowing he was just had the field covered. He was just cruising along, knowing he had the turn of speed.
Well, Black Caviar's gone out for a spell, Jared. I think he needed to spell out the bouncing it 5 times.
Broadbent.
Had plenty of it, has Broadbent today. He's worked pretty hard. Needs to address some of his disposals. Kicking efficiency down. He does get a lot of ball under pressure, though.
Got a big second half for Port Adelaide. Pride is on the line at Amy Stadium. Round 9 Indigenous round continues. And Fremantle in total control here this afternoon. 13-8, 86 to Port Adelaide, 5-3, 33.